The deadliest weapon in the world is a Marine and his rifle. It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat. Your rifle is only a tool. It is a hard heart that kills. If your killer instincts are not clean and strong, you will hesitate at the moment of truth. You will not kill. Tonight, your kids will sleep with your rifle. You will give your rifle a girl's name, because this is the only pussy you people are going to get. I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to. And the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes, sir. You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death. Praise.
I'm coming in hot.
Hey Paisans on my channel, how's it going? I have a great guy, and of course I had a whole setup going on this, and of course they have to play Fuckaroo Switcheroo on YouTube. Don't you love that? I have a brother of mine, you guys have met him before, by the name of Baz. So come on in, brother, if you want.
How you doing, brother? All good?
Outstanding. Out frickin' standing is how I'm doing as a soldier and a former Marine. So we wanted to have a quick confab, and it will be quick today. We're probably not going to do a long-term one until Monday. And we're going to discuss a whole lot of things you guys probably want to hear about. But the best part about it with Baz is you get no bullshit, just like with me. And you're going to know what's up. Baz comes from, you can tell from his accent, he comes from the UK. And I come from Hillbilly Land. So how you been lately, brother? You been busy?
Yeah, all good, brother. I was obviously speaking earlier. I've had some things going on over here, just been dealing with work, and yeah, it's been a busy all week. Just got to get back, feet up, adult libation in hand, and ring up one of my brothers over the water.
There you go, brother. Over the pond. That's how we live. The PHU, Pipe Hitters Union, has broad expanse. And we all know what we talk about. We will not talk about what we don't. So, brother, why don't you fill as much you can into the stuff that you're seeing right now. And we've got about maybe 10 minutes. Why don't you fill everybody in on a little bit about what you've been seeing, I guess, however you've been seeing it. I don't want to give away a lot of stuff. Baz is a good man, and I'll just let him speak now. I'm muting.
Thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot. Raise my drink to all the people out there that are going to be listening. Obviously, we've had some technical difficulties recently that we are dealing with, as you can see. What I'd like to, obviously, me and Shuff have been speaking about is the way like masculinity and leadership and being a soldier. I want to say soldier. I don't mean soldier as a profession. I'm talking a soldier as in the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you look after those that you love, those that are close to you, and your circle. You know what I mean? Your close circle, those that mean a lot to you, that you would fight for. I'm getting at a soldier fights for what he believes in, and the way that certainly when it comes to like masculinity and pride of one's nation or pride of one's past, things like that, it's getting poisoned in society nowadays. Certainly is over here where I am. You might be on the fringes of it. You might know a bit about it. What this Brexit fuckery, that basically democracy is it's getting to the point where it's on its ass. And if you speak up saying that you want to be a sovereign nation and so forth, you're looked at as if you're a fascist, a racist, far right. You're one of the deplorables, as that piece of shit Clinton said. You're one of the deplorables. And it seems to be that if you want pride or if you want to fight for what you believe in over here, it doesn't seem the right thing to do these days. You know, again, both me and Shuff were speaking about this earlier on, and it's a strange time. It's a strange time coming from both proud nations. Obviously, again, it's going to be difficult to see what's going to happen in the future, especially with your nation and with my nation. We're a bit on the edge at the minute, what with this Brexit thing going on. And again, it was the same when Trump got put into office. You could see it there. It was a massive nation divided. There was those that wanted Trump, the MAGA hats, the build the wall and all stuff like that, or just the general. Is the 45th is going to make a change?
You can't do it. You can say it. It's the cunts. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's the absolute shit cunts that basically want you to just cow down to their way of thinking. Over here, it's the 17.4 million people that wanted to leave the EU, the European Union. I've been told that they're all wrong. They're all stupid. They're all racists. They don't know what they're getting into, and they're on about this people's vote in quote marks. Those that the remainers, the ones that fucking lost the vote, are saying you were sold a load of lies, blah blah blah. We want another vote. Where does that end? You know what I mean? Where does that end? Democracy is basically dying in the UK. I'm not going to go into too much into knife bans and things like that, but just the freedoms that a person has, a man has, in the nation are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, consider we're meant to be, we're actually class a freer nation than the US. We don't see that here, where there's some places in the US you don't see that, if you know what I mean.
I do. The interesting thing I used to tell people, and so did a buddy of mine, I think you might have met him once or twice, Robert Young Pelton. Yeah. All you got to do is go into a grocery store, no matter what nation you want to be in, and buy yourself some Ginsu knives. So you got 5 knives and, one for stabbing. The rest are, but keep them in the bag, keep the receipt, and you might need to return it, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we were speaking earlier about knives and things like that, and there isn't a knife ban. Don't listen to the lies. But again, if you are carrying a knife, that you're asked why you're carrying it. Yep. And if you don't have a good reason, then you're going to be prosecuted. I'm just like, But we're digressing. Let's say we'll go back to our sort of initial sort of subject on this. Is a masculinity, being a soldier, and I think most of all, being a father and a mentor. As obviously, I know Shuff, you've got older children. I've got older children, and once you have children, your world just flips 180 degrees.
Completely changes.
It's no longer about you. It's about you making that person or those people that you've sired the best people you can, and it becomes your life's main mission, because at the end of the day, that's your bloodline, that's your legacy. And when you shift off this mortal coil, that's what you're leaving behind, for better or worse. And I would like to say, if you're any type of father, parent, mother, you're going to leave that best legacy you can. Not just as when you slip off the mortal coil, you can nod to yourself before you take your final breath and say, I've done a good fucking job. But it's leaving that person set to take on what's coming in their lives, good or bad, and again, there's a lot of outside influences nowadays that affect the way that you've got to do that, the way you've got to be a mentor. Maybe you don't have children, but at some point in your life, you are going to be a mentor or a leader. And it's how you deal with that. It's the decisions you make. And it's, again, the decisions you make are governed by the way you live your life. Are you a good person? Do you have good morals?
Indeed.
We've all done things in our past that we might not be proud of. We do things as part of our profession that you massively segregate from those that in your circle. You know, again, if you're a part of the life that I live, that Shuff lives, and a lot of the listeners live, what you do, let's say in quotation marks, in the line of duty, might not be fit for public consumption, but it's the right thing to do as long as you're not bayoneting children and committing genocide.
Right.
you know, but we all do things in the line of duty that maybe are blurred.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we live in a world that governments ask us to do many things.
Yeah.
And it saddens us. Here's one thing a warrior does not escape with, and I'll let Baz expand with this. Yeah, we may pass on knowledge to our mentees as a mentor. We can pass it to our sons or our daughters. But the bigger portion is we tell them you have to keep your soul. And Baz, I am telling you folks right now, he has kept his soul and been an awesome dude. And I hope, inshallah, I hope I've kept my soul. And you can expound on that, brother.
Yeah, kind words, brother. And they're much appreciated. Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of the words. Yeah, again, what we've done as part of our job, you've got to lock that away somewhere, and you've got to keep that to yourself. Keep your soul, and whether that soul's been tainted, but it's up to you to maintain that soul is good, you know. And whatever you pass from your soul to those you're mentoring, to those that you're bringing up, to those that you're being a father to, or a sibling, you've got to ensure that the right bits come out and the right bits are you mean given to those.
It's a responsibility, brother. It is your responsibility.
A responsibility. I wasn't as lucky. I didn't have a mentor as a young man. I grew up in a single parent family. My mentor was my mother, and she gave me a set values, politeness, you know, and it was all good. You know, me not having a father wasn't, let's say,
a hindrance. It didn't hinder you.
A hindrance to the person I became. Once I got a bit older and I joined the military, I was influenced by some not so savoury characters, and they weren't mentors. They were just figures of authority.
They were users.
Users. Very, somewhat vampires. Vampires, I call them. So, like moral vampires. You know, they preyed on the younger ones. Not sexually. I wasn't buggered, but you know what I mean. They preyed on the younger ones.
I know exactly.
You know, when the laws. We had crown immunity back then. For those that don't know what crown immunity is, that the military were given a lot of leeway to do basically what the fuck we wanted. Like we could get away with a lot without being prosecuted by the police. You know, it was just sort of you flashed your ID card, and 9 times out of 10, less serious crimes. It was just like he's a fucking soldier. It's not worth the hassle.
It was the same here.
Yeah, so it was sort of like the lax rules and things like that, and my path towards being a good person was very snake-like, serpentine, you know,
kind of skewed.
I've not always been a good person, And there's times in my life where I was a type of person that I actually detest now, where I look back and I think I was an absolute cunt. But there's times in my life where things have happened and it's sort of been that wake up call where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Sort your life out, get it back on track. And I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place. I mean, that was a long time ago. That's 20 odd years ago. And I'm lucky that path was straightened out for me all that time ago. And I've been on a good path since. You know, within the lines of being a good person, a good father, a good human being. And again, what happens on operations, on missions, within our remits of a job, as long as they're within the parameters of duty and, you know what I mean, whatever.
It didn't violate our honor too much.
Yeah, violate any honor, any code, or any gone on to like policies and law and regulations and things like that. As long as everything's done with those, let's again air quotation mark, rules of engagement, you're a good person, you know. And if you've made any calls in the past that you've got to live with, then it's you that's got to live with them, and it's up to you to, if they're bubbling to the surface where there is doubt, then you've got to deal with that one way or the other. You know what I mean?
And normally, the men I've worked with, we won't do it. If it violates any honor, if it violates loyalty, if it violates the big one, moral, or if it violates justice, it's not happening.
Yeah. And again, it depends on what type of sort of work are you doing. That those boundaries are pushed to the very limits, where
the extremes.
That crosshair's laid on that person's chest, and it's that isn't it moment in your head as you're taking on that first couple of pounds pressure. You know what I mean? And before you know it, there's that kick in the shoulder, and it's done. You can't take that back.
No, you can't. You can't.
And then that. Have I done the right thing? And again, it goes on to what we keep as pipe hitters, as warriors, as law enforcement, as soldiers. Again,
a sacred honor.
Yeah, and that's been diluted somewhat, especially these days where we're being called into question for the things that we've done in lines of duty. Again, I've touched on it in previous shows where 40 odd years down the line, you're being called into question for these actions that you did as a young man, as inexperienced, as scared, and then because you're a political puppet and you can be hung out to dry because you're no longer in uniform, or you no longer have ties. You're just an old man that did some stuff a long time ago, and now you're being called into question for it, be it right or be it wrong, you know. And it's breeding a certain way. Or certain way that we're going to think as warriors. You know what I mean? There's going to be that hesitance there. Am I going to be persecuted for this shit? You know, be it by a court of law or be it by society.
And we know we will. We both know we will. That's the thing I used to tell all my students, no matter who they were, my mentees, I've said it to everybody. Just realize there is a camera everywhere recording everything you do. Yeah. So deal 100% professionally with everybody you meet, or you're going to be fucked. And that's the real truth.
Well, the way society is divided nowadays, unless we're in full-blown conflict, Second World War, places like you think of times like that where a nation's united, you know. But we had one recently, I mentioned earlier, we had the Falkland Islands, where a nation was pretty united, you know, where we were at war with Argentina, where a nation was united. But nowadays, it's because of social justice warriors of the left and of the right and things like that, that no matter what you do, no matter how good and professional job you do, you are going to be vilified by one corner of society.
Indeed.
And it's as long as you can protect those under your command, under your mentorship, your family, your circle. as long as you can protect those from that, then that makes you that father figure. That makes you that leader.
I had one definition that I would tell all of my people. Don't lie to me. I will talk for you.
Yeah.
But if you ever lie to me, I'll be there all the way until the jail door slams on you. But I will lie for you. I will not lie for myself, but I will lie for those under me. And that's the truth, and that's how it should be. It doesn't sacrifice your honor. You decided to lie, and you did it honorably. But guess what? If you lied to me, I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to say a word for you. Just don't lie to me.
Yeah, I think that's an important one. That those in you, it goes both ways. The truth, you know, as in, if, for example, there's something gone on, you're only you're stronger together. You're stronger united.
Exactly.
Rather than an individual, because you've got different experiences, you've got different outlooks on things. Some people might have had experience with that sort of situation before, where they can add value to your battle, to your fight. Where if you lie, you alienate that. You give them that wrong information that they're fighting a different battle to what you're going to be fighting. That you need to be united. But again, it's when we're on about truth, we're going back to this. If you've got a clean soul, if your soul's pure and stuff like that, there's times where you need to lie to protect those, you know. And there is that time where you do need to make a martyr of yourself, be it with the knowledge of those that you love, that those in the circle, or if they don't know, there's that time that you need to keep that to yourself, and you know you're going to fall on your sword, and you're going to do it with grace, with honor, without the knowledge of those around you.
Yeah.
You know, to protect them. It's all about protecting those in your circle.
Protecting those you care about and love.
Yeah.
And folks, we are having such a great show right now that I have to tell you, I do have a doctor's appointment to try to cure my lung thing that I have. This has been horrible for me. But Baz came on. I want him to get his final comments on, but I have to tell you, I have to stop this show in about 5 minutes, and it breaks my heart. Baz, you have the rest of the show, and I did an opening, and I'm not going to even do a close. You have the rest of the show for 5 minutes, and I will shut it down when I have to. And tonight, you guys are going to get this. Of course, I can only do this through a recording. So, Baz, you just go, man, and I'm going to let you run for 5. Do it, baby.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. Hope the appointment goes well and you get yourself sorted out. Yeah. Not the floor's mine. So those in your circle are those that you need to really look after, because again, they're going to be a legacy. And even if they do leave that circle, if you've got people under your command, let's say I had young soldiers or even older soldiers under my command, my time in the military, and at some point they're going to go on their own path. And as long as that path for them is aligned with your path, and the mentorship that you've given them, the advice, the sweat, the blood, the tears that you've spent over them is not wasted, they can go on and form their own circle. And again, your legacy grows, you know, because if you do it right, they'll be telling their mentors, their children, theirs in their circle, X amount of years ago, I had a mentor, or my father, or this guy who I worked under, he was an outstanding leader, an outstanding soldier, an outstanding brother, an outstanding warrior, and just a fucking good person. And again, your legacy is going to grow and grow and grow. And again, when you shuffle off this fucking mortal coil and you go to wherever you believe, whether you become dust, whether you become worm food, whether you become reincarnated, a star, what fucking ever, you know that when you take that last breath, you've done the best job you can. And that's what we're here for. That's all we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That's what Shuff's here for. And I'd like to think that's what you're here for. I just a final couple of words. One of my sort of mantras that I've always tried to instill, not just in myself, well, certainly with myself, but certainly in those that I've worked alongside, worked over in the military, and with my son and my daughter when she gets older, is whatever you do in life, as long as you share your and own your mistakes, there's no point passing on the blame to others, you know. But if you're winning, everybody's fucking winning. If you're losing and you're losing to that point, you've got to sort of like look inwards and think, why are we doing it? And if you're a mentor and a leader or a father and that person's failing, that's your failure because you've not done your job properly. You know, and I think that's all I've got to say on that matter.
No,
Shuff,
completely indeed, brother. I love it. Lots of wisdom coming from Baz, and any other wisdom you want to share with my folks in Kaiser's Castle, you're always going to be welcome. We're going to go back and do this program hardcore on Monday. You folks better be ready because we're going to hit a lot of subjects, and it's going to be a much longer podcast.
And we're going to do a lot of digressing, like we always do, brother.
Always. You know what, man? I think the people appreciate your and my show from different perspectives. And look, I don't have to agree with Baz. He doesn't have to agree with me on anything. We're just trying to tell you the truth. And that's the important thing right now, the truth. There's an old, do you remember the band that sang Black Coffee in Bed?
Yeah. I can't think the name of them now.
I can't think of them either. I was bouncing it off you. But the funniest part is they had a song called The Truth Is Not My Middle Name. And I remember I justified all my mentors and stuff. I listened to them. But that song was very prescient. Anyways, whatever. It is what it is. Baz, close me out. You tell people your thoughts.
Brother, it's been a pleasure. For those that are listening, obviously this is not going out live, but again, it's always been a pleasure to be able to speak to those of kindred spirits. That's what I'll call you, kindred spirits. Those that fight the same fight, although may not fight on the same soil, might not fight in the same uniform, but again, we fight that same fight, whether it's military, civilian, law enforcement, emergency services, whatever, you know. Again, like Shuff said, you're always welcome in his castle. Any of you coming over to England at any point, to the UK, you can get me through Shuff, and you're in the area, gladly meet up, have a few libations, shoot the shit, and it'd be a pleasure to see anybody within our circle, because it is our circle. And again, our legacy only grows. Brother, it's been a pleasure, and I'll speak to you on Monday. Guys, have a good one. Raising a glass. Still don't move fast.
That's right. That's right, Baz. This Shuff gonna close out the same way. Shuff out. No music tonight because Baz deserves that, and I have to go. All right. God bless. Be well. Be safe. Shuff out.